Hello, it's the Art Monarch here, and today we're drawing a house head. This is a guy wearing a roof for hair, and there's also a little platform on the back of his head, which is a porch where a bunch of people are hanging around, maybe partying, and just looking out from the view of the back of the head. So this is an interesting drawing. I think it's pretty good. It took maybe 30 minutes or an hour altogether. I was going to make a few other faces, but I ran out of room. I thought this was going to be a little bit smaller, so instead I just drew the entire body, or half of the body, on the lower half of the page. So I was expecting it to be a little smaller, but it is what it is. It's just a large head, and there's little people in there, so they can live in this hotel. Maybe it's a hotel. It is. There's a few different little rooms, triangles on top. So I'm assuming that there's a large area where many people can stay. This might not actually be a human. It's just a hollowed out shell that looks like one. And so the people can go down the staircase, which is through the neck, and then go into the lower portion where the heart and the organs are. And in there, maybe, are the bedrooms. And at the top is like the hang-around area, right? And then you can go into the nose a little bit. You can store stuff in there. And in the mouth, there's also some storage space. And in the ear is an escape exit. So you have a little place to get out of if a fire starts or whatever. I would say it's definitely one of the more intriguing drawings that I've done recently, but we're still working on the configurations, figuring out where everything goes inside of this body, and currently we are letting people rent out spaces in this body for about $300 a month, so not too bad. And I would suggest going to the lower half of the body because it's a little bit unsafe at the top. There are airplanes that fly by. By the way, this is a giant human. This isn't just a normal sized person. This is a 700-foot tall person. So you've got to be careful with the planes flying by. It's loud up there. So go to the bottom of the legs and you should probably find a place where you can stay there. So this is a new species of human, which are giants. They're oftentimes hundreds of feet tall, sometimes even thousands of feet tall, and so when they pass away, we hollow out the body and give the smaller people of the old days, like you and myself, who are only a couple feet tall, we give them a place to stay inside of these huge giants, and that's what they tell these smaller people. They've told us that we can use their bodies because they take up a lot of space. They don't just decompose overnight. In fact, these giant human beings do not decompose like normal humans. It takes thousands of years for these bodies to deteriorate, and so that's why we build little houses and hotels inside of them. Of course, the smell does take a little while to go away, maybe a year or two, but we have a lot of fragrances and different odors that we can put into there to make it smell a little bit better. But anyways, that's what we've drawn today, okay? We have made a huge giant with little people living inside. Yeah, I know this drawing is a little bit weird, but it's mainly just my explanation of the drawing that's weird, because sometimes I forget that a lot of my thinking is creative. I'm an artist, so the way that I think is different. It's a little bit strange at times. And so for the normal person, me talking about this is kind of weird, right? But if you're an artist or a creative and you think a little bit outside the box, maybe it's not as weird. But anyways, that's the idea that I had, and actually it started out as me just wanting to make a head with a house on top of the head, but it's actually a house inside of the head where people live. So it's a little different. but I will be working on some other ideas. There's a lot of things that I want to draw, and I do get a lot done, but it doesn't feel like I'm getting as much done as I could, which doesn't make sense because I upload a video every day, I draw every day, I do as much as possible, but it feels like I could be doing a little bit more. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just so used to putting out a lot of things that it feels like maybe I could do more, but if I do too much, then I'll explode. But there's a lot of ideas. There is a lot of things that I write down, but I just don't have enough time. I think people overestimate how much they can do in a day, but they underestimate how much they can do in a year. And that's how I feel. I think that I can do everything all in one day, but you just can't. I have 4 or 5 drawings that I want to do in one day, but it's not really possible unless I sit there and am doing absolutely nothing else. Then maybe, but even then, it's not going to be the best drawings because you've got to take it slow and easy when you're putting the lines down. But anyways, we'll work on that next year. 2025, we're going to produce more high quality drawings, not just quantity. Look, I do try to make the best drawings that I can every single day, but sometimes it doesn't always turn out as planned. But anyways, that's all for today. The Art Monarch is gone. We're leaving for the day. Goodbye. It's art o'clock, which means it's time to draw again. Bye.